Hey, what is up, guys? It's Wellington, and today we're going to be doing something a little different, a little personal when it comes to me and the way I do things. Now, this video is going to be just explaining really how I came to be as not just a gamer, but as a person in the real world, because video games have shaped the way that I encounter situations, changed the way I really do everything, and it's all because the people that I surround myself with, and the people who I'm currently with, and who I used to be with, and who I wish to be with. This all kind of shapes the way you are. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so it all started on a game called Mountain Blade. Most of you probably know what Mountain Blade is, Mountain Blade Warband. And it is the game where I found myself in my very first gaming group. Well, it was a regiment on Mountain Blade when regiments were still, a part of the game. Right now they're kind of dead. Anyway, that's not the point. So, I got my gaming computer in 2012, and that's one of the first games that I downloaded was Mountain Blade Warband. And I still remember it, I was playing on a server called the Whatever server. And I named myself Duke of Wellington, Duke underscore of underscore Wellington. And I'm just, going around there sucking because, I still suck at the game, even to this day. Just going around there trying to get some kills. And all of a sudden, I see a message in the bottom left saying, "Hey, Wellington, do you want to join a regiment?" And I'm like, "A regiment? That sounds pretty cool. I don't know what that is." So I'm like, "Sure." Because at the time I was pretty stupid. Still am, but anyway. So I said, "Sure, let's do this." And I hadn't even downloaded TeamSpeak yet. I didn't even know what TeamSpeak was at the time. So I said, "Sure." And he's like, "Okay, well, hey, we're going to give you a TeamSpeak IP." And I said, "Okay, I don't know what that is." And he said, "Okay, well, no problem. Just go to this link." I'm like, I don't want to go to anywhere where this guy sends me because I just met him. And I'm like, well, whatever. I guess I'll try the link that he gave me. And it was the TeamSpeak download link. So I downloaded TeamSpeak and I messaged him saying how to do this. He taught me how to do it. I clicked connect and I was popped into the channel, the default channel. And at this time, I had no idea what was going on. I was totally confused. So I'm like, "I'm here. I don't know what to do now." And he's like, "Okay, I'll move you down." So for the first, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks of having TeamSpeak, I didn't know that I could actually move channels. And actually, the TeamSpeak page itself was minimized. You can minimize and maximize your screen. It was minimized, and I never knew how to maximize it. So it was this small space on my computer that was like bunched up with all the channels in it. And I'm like, okay, this is really stupid. I'm probably never going to use TeamSpeak ever again, except just to talk with these people. And I didn't even have a headset at this time. I would think I was using a cheap like webcam that I had to speak.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 108th gaming group. Now this footage was taken from one of our line battles that we did. If you are a member here,
And it was so crap. Anyway, so yeah, for 2 weeks he had to move me into the channel because I didn't know how to switch channels. So that was pretty funny to look back on. I'll always remember that. So anyway, I was in the 108th Regiment of Foot for about, oh my god. Oh, I can't even remember. I think it was almost a year. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think it might have been a year or maybe a little less. But anyway, about a year, I'm going to say. And it was some of the best fun I've had. I'm still friends with some of those people, um, like 3 years later. And I think the group is coming back up. I think the old leader, Handful Army guy, that was his name, is still trying to get people in. I think he's trying to revive the 108th. I'm probably not going to join it. It would be cool, but my Mountain Blade days are pretty much over when it comes to Napoleonic Wars. And yeah, that's actually pretty much it for my first thing ever. Now I'm probably going to put in screenshots, clips, and I think I actually have a, oh yeah, I made a YouTube channel too. As it was called the 108th Gaming Group, and let me put the intro right here, the cringy little intro that I made on this free YouTube intro site, whatever. But there's that to laugh at. And anyway, that's it for Mountain Blade, and I think we're about to hit Arma, which is where it really gets interesting. So stay tuned. So here we are, Arma 3, the game where I have over 2,000 hours. You're probably asking, what happened that got me so into Arma 3? Well, here is what. So in the beginning, I didn't even know Arma 3 existed. Never had Arma 2, never knew any of them existed. So I have cousins who played Mountain Blade with me. You know, we started playing a little bit because I realized that they had a computer. They actually have better computers than me. Actually, they have laptops and I have a desktop. They still have better graphics, whatever. Anyway, so they said, "Oh, you like military, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, military is pretty cool. I like it." And then they're like, "Yo, you should try a game called Arma 3." And I'm like, what 3? And they're like, Arma 3. I'm like, oh, okay, well, sure, just, it's on Steam, right? And he's like, yeah, it's on Steam. So I downloaded it, and I didn't really know anything about it. The only thing I knew about the game is when I was in TeamSpeak channels with them, just listening to them talk about it while I was playing, like, City Skylines. That's what I bought just before Arma 3 was City Skylines, because they were playing it too. Pretty much most of the games that I had, or in the beginning that I had, were because they had them and they recommended it to me. So I was playing City Skylines, where they were playing Arma 3, and they were talking about they were playing Altis Life actually, and they were talking about, let's spawn in Sofia, let's go to Kavala, let's go to Pyrogros, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? What the hell are these places? That isn't English. What the hell does Sofia even mean? So I'm like, oh yeah, are you going to Sofia again? Just as a joke. Anytime I would see them, like, hey, let's go to Sofia, and they're like, do you even know what that means? I'm like, no. They're like, it's a place on Altis. I'm like, on what? On Altis. And I can go on and on and on with that. But anyway, they said, oh yeah, you should totally buy it. So I bought it for $60. I think it was a Christmas present that I got, and I was psyched. I'm like, all right, it's time to go to Sofia and see what what all this what is it called? All the rave is about. So I never knew any other thing existed other than Altis Life, and I remember I had to ask for help when I got to the launcher. I'm like, so to play the game, do I press the play button and all that stuff? And they're like, yeah, press the play button. You have to go to this. And I don't know if you guys were here when Arma released back in 2013, but it looks completely different now than it did back then. Oh my god, does it look different? It's incredible, the graphical updates that they did to it, and just the overall sound and the just quality of everything has been improved depending on your point of view. I think it's been improved, but I used to be able to run it at 40 frames. Now I run it at 20, so you can see what that did to my computer. But anyway, I digress. So on Altis Life, I was on a server called Asylum. It's still up. I think Asylum, actually, it was one of the first, if not the first, Altis Life server on Arma 3. I don't know when it came up, but me and my cousins and a couple of their friends would like always do drugs, right? We're like drug runners on the server. We had like a bunch of money, we had guns, we had nice cars, the usual drug cartel way of doing things. And that was working out for a little while, and I'm like, hey, there's 3 slots on this server, right? There's civilians, which we were, then there's medical or EMS, and then there's cop, police. So I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if you can have a gun and shoot people. This is how I thought back then. If you can shoot people and not get in trouble for it. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, I can become a cop and just have some fun, bust some criminals. I know how criminals think because I am a criminal, you know what I'm saying? So I went and applied for cop on one of my friend's servers. It was called, what was it called? Oh, Lethal Dosage Gaming. The server is still up, by the way. It went down, but went back up, but I'll get into that more later. So I hopped on the server, and I said, hey, can I be a cop? And they're like, hey, go on this website and fill out an application. I've never filled out an application in my life up to this point, so I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. I'll just fill out an application. I did, and for some miracle reason, I was accepted. I got interviewed, I was put through a training academy thing, and I became a cop. Ever since I became a cop on that server, it has clicked. I have never gotten off Arma, and the Arma, and Arma has gotten better and better and better and better for me throughout the years. And there's also been some down moments, but more again on that later. So, I'm a cop on Lethal Dosage Gaming. For a couple months, I had a really great time. Still have some friends from Lethal Dosage Gaming, and like I said before, it's still up. I went to say hi to some people. Some of them remembered me, but most of them were like, "Oh, you're the squeaker. You were the little brat, right? Who always whined and complained about things when he was on cop." I'm like, "Yep, that was me." So, yeah, that was fun. So, and a couple months after I joined, the lethal dosage went down for the first time, completely down. Never came back up until like recently, but of course this was like 2013, 2014-ish. So I was like, okay, well, I can't find the server anymore, so I want to go talk with one of my friends to see what happened. I shoot him a quick Steam message being like, yo, is our server down? Like, is it down? He's like, yeah, man, it was shut down, but if you come over to this other server, you can get your cop rank back, or you can be a cop again. I'm like, oh, really? Sick. So the server was called Lugnut Studios. We'll always remember that server till the day I die. So we hopped on there, and I talked to the chief of police, and he was like, yeah, you run Lethal Dosage Gaming? Yeah, here, you can have a senior patrol officer rank because you were on LDG. You don't have to get interviewed again because you were already on there. So it was basically Lethal Dosage Gaming was coming back up under a different name. It was the same exact owners, couple different ones, but it was basically the same server. So I joined there, and I was on there for about a year. So I had wonderful, wonderful memories, and I have so many videos and screenshots of this server. I can literally do a 4-hour video of just all the screenshots that I have and all the videos and of everything. And I'm still friends with quite a few people from Lugnut Studios today. And they tried to bring the server back up and revive it, but nah, it wasn't going to come back up, which was a bummer. I think it was under like Small Batch Gaming was like the new name, which is really weird. I do not like Small Batch Gaming. That's a weird name to name a Altis life server. But when I got up to a lieutenant colonel in the police force on this server, and this server got 60 to 70 to 80 people every single day, and that was like during the regular school year. On the summer, it was even better, and this was really what got me into Arma, what got me to stay to play over 2,000, almost 2,100 hours of Arma 3, is this was Lugnut Studios. That server right there is what got me here, right now. And the people and the friends that I met, oh, it was just insane. But there's a reason why it didn't work out too well. So I was on there for about 9 to 10 months, right? Everything was going well. I was a lieutenant colonel, and the server went down, and it went back up. And I'm like, okay, whew, it came back up. That's good. So I walked in because I needed to get my tags re-put on because even the TeamSpeak went down, so they had to redo the TeamSpeak and everything. So I came in, and I was expecting, to get everything back, the lieutenant colonel rank that I had, and they're like, well, Wellington, we're gonna make you a captain. We've redone the rank structure, so here, instead of lieutenant colonel, you're gonna be a captain. Which I didn't really care. Ranks really didn't bother me. They still don't bother me to this day. Ranking isn't a big importance to me. It feels good to be a high rank and know what you're doing, but not a lot of times you have a person who's high rank and knows what they're doing, and I was one of those people. I was like a little squeaker back then. It was horrible. If I look at myself back then and then it's just horrible. What, how I acted, how I dealt with certain situations. I was just definitely not mature. But that's probably why I got put back down to captain. But starting from senior patrol officer going to lieutenant colonel is pretty high up there, especially on a populated server like that. So, how I got kicked off. So, after I came back up, it was about 2 months later. I was just shy of my 1 year anniversary on Lugnut Studios when one of the officers and one of the people I met, his name was Connor Lee. No, it was Patrick Lee, sorry. Connor Lee was one of his friends. So Patrick Lee, he's like, hey, I'm starting a brand new server, a brand new Altis Life server. You want to be on it? And I'm like, oh, sure. Send me the TSIP. So I got the TSIP. I went into the channel, and I started talking with the people there. And we were having a great time. And I kept going back and back to the TeamSpeak. It was like 3 days. It was, the third day that I was on the TeamSpeak. I was pulled into a channel because I was in both TeamSpeaks at the same time. His server was called Lee's Gaming. So I was on the Lee's Gaming TeamSpeak and I was on the Lugnut Studios TeamSpeak. Both tabs open in TeamSpeak. I had my Lugnut's TeamSpeak tab set as away, and I was talking with the people on the Lee's Gaming. So I was moved into a channel while I was in Lugnut Studios, and I was confused, so I exited out of Arma, alt-tabbed out of Arma, and I went to check what was going on in Lugnut Studios. And I was moved down to an office. I think it was one of the administrator's offices. I was, I don't know, what was I on Lugnuts? I don't know if I was, I was a helper. Okay, so there was a staff rank called helper. It was like helper, then it was like trial staff, then admin, whatever. I was a helper on Lugnut Studios, and I was moved into a channel into one of the other helpers' offices, and they started talking about me. They moved me into a channel just so they can start talking behind me, and quote unquote behind my back, because I don't know if they thought I couldn't hear them, but I can hear everything that they were saying. And they were talking about like how I was betraying the server by being on another TeamSpeak, and how I said I wanted to leave the server, and how everybody on it was stupid and all that stuff. And I'm like, I never said that, but I wasn't gonna unmute myself or put myself as a way so I could talk with them because I wanted to record what they were saying. But I didn't have recording software, or at least it wasn't set up properly, so I couldn't record what they were saying, or else I would have kept that. But anyway, so they were talking about me, and apparently, actually no, not apparently, their names were Simba and Mufasa. If you don't know, those are two characters from The Lion King. I know, very manly, right? But they were acting like they were all tough. So, anyway, they were talking about me, and they said, alright, you know what, we should just remove him from the server right now. And you would think that, oh yeah, there's a chain of command, they're going to have to talk with the owners if they want to remove somebody. And I was a captain on the police force. I was pretty high up there. I was usually the highest on every time I got into the server. So, I was talking, or they were talking, Jesus, I can't speak. It's like 10:30 at night for me. Anyway, so they were talking, and they got one of my old friends in. His name was Kiwo McNugget. I know, another manly name. Service filled with him. Anyway, he was about 2 to 3 years younger than me, and he was just a poster child, the admins thought. Because he had a squeaker voice and how people made fun of him a lot, the admins always said, if you make fun of Kiwo, you're going to have to go through us if you bully him, which makes sense. I respect people who stand up for other people. I do. I'm like, alright, well then we can't even talk to this kid, and because if we talk to him in a way that he finds he doesn't like it, he'll just talk to the admins and get us all kicked out of the server. So anyway, this kid gets talked into coming down into the channel with us. And Simba and Mufasa, the guys who kicked me out, those names still piss me off to this day. They were like, yeah, so Wellington, he's on a different server. He said he hated this server, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there so pissed. I'm about to scream. So he's like, okay, well, I'll talk with the admins, and they're like, no, you gotta remove all of his tags right now. Just, like, remove him. And he's like, I don't know. And Simba and Mufasa just keep telling him, like, you know what, if we, they're like bribing him, like, you know, if you remove all of his tags, we'll do this, or whatever. I don't remember fully how that went down, but Kibo ended up, removing all of my tags, my captain tag, my helper tag, everything. And I just, I'm like, that's enough. So I just moved back down into the AFK room. I never confronted him about it, which I regret, but the server's down, so it's not like I'm missing anything. So I go back down to the AFK room, and not even like 5 minutes after, I'm permanently banned from the server by one of the high admins. And I was so pissed, to say the least. Like, you would not understand the rage that I was in once I was banned from the server. Because if you're on a server for an entire year and then you just get banned instantly without even talking to the admins about it, that kind of pisses you off. So anyway, now since I'm banned from that server, I went into a server called, like I said before, Lee's Gaming, which this server and these owners, man, they're insane. And the one of the main owners, his name is Scott Lee. He knows how to develop a server, but doesn't know how to get population in said server. So these guys must have put like dozens of servers up, and they never get populated. They get populated at the beginning with like 7 people, and then they just die. Like in the next 2 weeks, they're just dead. And there's another person, his name is Joe King, same thing. Hey, that kind of rhymed. So Joe King, he's another dev, another good developer. He knows how to do a lot. He has like over 3,000 hours in Arma. He puts non-stop servers up too, and he's always asking me, hey, can you dev for me? Can you do the TeamSpeak channels? Because that's what I like to do in TeamSpeak. I know how to make channels. I like to make channels for people. I like to set icons, all that stuff. So he's like, yo, can you do my TeamSpeak for me? I need a dev. And actually, just yesterday, he messaged me. He's like, hey, you want to make a server with me? You want to, I can make you founder. You can be the founder of this server with me. And I didn't message him back, but I knew that that server, if we were gonna do it, it would never take off. So I just didn't say anything, but I'm not even gonna help him anymore. He's a good friend. We're friends. We'll stay friends, but I'm tired of joining servers that die out, because I've been on like 20 to 30 servers that just die out immediately. I've never been on a populated server as a cop since Lugnut Studios, since a year ago, almost 1.5 years. I have never been on a, or never been, I haven't been in a long time. I was trying to join a couple other populated ones, but they all said I'm too young because I told them my real age. And so that's great. So now I've been hopping Arma. I got into Mill Sims about a couple months ago, joined Marine units, joined Army units. Right now I'm in the 101st Airborne. I'm also playing Mountain Blade, I'm playing Arma, all the usual stuff. But that is Arma. That's basically Arma. Now I could go more in depth, but I've already been talking in this one segment. I can see a timer in front of me for like 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Or 18 minutes, yeah. 18 minutes and 26 seconds now, which is just a long time. I know people's attention spans are like nothing nowadays. So, yeah, I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. So that's basically Arma. For me, it was server hopping every year, every couple of months to different servers. Like I said before, right now I'm in a Mountain Blade group. It's called the Legio IX. It's a Roman Legion, obviously. A lot of you who are going to see this are already in it with me or know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, it's cool. I would recommend. I might put the TeamSpeak information in the description, but it's almost 11 o'clock at night for me. I just wanted to kind of get this documentary thing out of the way. So that's basically it for Arma, and let's see if I have anything else to add. Nope, guys, that is actually about it for me when it comes to the documentary thing that I just made. Anyway, in short, it started out with Mountain Blade and a great gaming group that really set me on the tracks to where I am now. Then it moved on to Arma and a couple other games, but mostly it's just Mountain Blade and Arma, more to the Arma side. But Arma is basically the game that I'm all for now, and probably will be all for until I get like 4,000 hours on it. But I'm in a Greek community right now, and we'll see how things change, if they change, because, like I said, I thought I was going to be on Lucknut Studios for the rest of my life, but after a year, everything went south. But anyway, I just want to thank you guys again for watching. You guys are great, and the 30 subscribers that I have currently as of the 22nd of November 2017, I do appreciate you guys for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, I'm not even going to go through this, because if you don't know what to do on a person's channel or what they want you to do, then I don't know how I can help you. But anyway, the usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be out. See you on the field. Wait, that's airsoft. See you in game. There you go. That's more like it.